Take number 3. We can do it this time.
Okay, this is it.
We were so rudely interrupted before. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Hey, I'm Nick.
And I'm Rachel.
And we are The Gray Adventure. So we've been living on the road in our travel trailer full-time for a little more than 3 months now. And so we've gotten a lot of questions for you about this lifestyle that we're living. And we've answered a lot of them already, but we thought we would put together a Q&A video to answer as many of them as possible, all in one place.
Yeah, so we'll put them in some categories and we'll just get right to it. The first category is logistics. First question is, how long do you think you'll travel full-time? Will you settle somewhere when you finish? And yes, eventually we will settle somewhere. I don't see us traveling forever. When we first set out, we said we would take 1 year to travel, but we're looking at it and it will probably be more than a year just to see the things that we want to see. But it could be longer. We'll see how...
We'll have to see how it goes.
We'll see how it goes. We're not sure where we'll end up.
And the next question ties in a little bit with this is, would you ever consider putting your RV in a permanent site? The answer to that is no. The travel trailer is perfect for what we're doing right now, but we've talked about tiny houses for a long time, even before we thought about moving into the trailer. And if we were to settle down and look at a permanent site and wanted something small still, we would probably go with a tiny house.
How do we make money on the road?
I make the money.
I make zero money.
She makes none. So we do own a small online business that kind of runs itself, and that accounts for probably 50% of our income. And then the other half comes from my freelance technology journalism. I write for a handful of different online publications, editorials, news articles, things like that. But then I also have a tech YouTube channel called The High Tech Traveler. You can find that on YouTube. I'll have a link below as well, where I do reviews for smartphones and other gadgets and how-to videos, things like that.
And we just hit the 1,000
subscriber mark on this channel here. So we can finally monetize this channel and hopefully make some money as well. So make sure you watch our videos, and hopefully that will help support us in the lifestyle that we're living.
So speaking of money, what is our monthly budget?
Who knows?
We've never kept a budget, really. We've always kept an eye on how much we were spending.
Yeah.
But since we've been on the road, we've been tracking every single expense. Everything from groceries to tolls to laundry to camping fees, all of it.
Everything. And Rachel gets annoyed at me sometimes because I'm like, did you enter that into the app?
But it's cool to see now where our spending is going and how much we're spending in each category.
And excuse the noise, we are in a campground and there's trailers driving around, so sorry about that. But for the budget itself, the last 3 months we've been averaging about $3,000 per month. And since we are tracking every single expense that we have, it's interesting to see where our money is going. The majority of that does go to food, camping itself, and then gas. There's not much we can do about the gas thing since we do have to travel from here to there, but we can watch what campgrounds we stay at, how much money it costs us, and then a closer eye on the budget for food. That's something we can affect, and every month it's actually gone down slightly. So we have been paying attention to it, and we can probably get it even lower than what it is right now.
And we were asked if it's cheaper or more expensive or the same as living full-time. And again, we didn't track before, but it looks like it's about the same. It's just the categories have shifted. We're spending more on gas rather than rent or mortgage payment. And we actually plan to put together a full video specifically about budget and what we use for tracking and specifically more what that looks like. So stay tuned for that. The next category is about camping and travel. We were asked at 10 states in 3 months with 10,000 miles is a lot. And yes, that is true. Have you had enough time to see the places that you've been?
So first we need to clarify the 10,000 miles. We have been to the 10 states, we've been traveling for 3 months, but the 10,000 miles is actually how many miles we put on the truck itself and not how many miles we've towed the trailer.
Yeah, so day trips are included in that and just running errands and that sort of thing.
So we've probably done maybe 3,000 miles less on the trailer. But as far as seeing the places that we go, every week looks different for us, but when we have a destination in mind, we map out where we want to go, the sites that we want to see, and make sure that we dedicate enough time to those sites. There are some times where we didn't get to see everything that we wanted to do, and because we have places we need to go and things to see, we can't just stick around.
But we will never be able to see everything.
No, of course not.
That's just the case. So yes, we feel like we've seen what we wanted to see in the areas that we've stayed. We would always love to stay longer somewhere. But yes, we feel like we've seen what we wanted.
So next up is, do you enjoy the drive time more or less than you did when you started? For me, I would say it's about the same. There was some adjustment period learning how to tow the trailer, and just getting adjusted to having something behind you and making sure you're not crashing or going too fast down a hill and then there's a curve. But other than that, I've adjusted quite fine, and I really don't mind the driving time.
Yeah, and for me, drive time is always stressful and anxiety producing because our house is being towed behind us. I'm not in control of the driving. So in that aspect, it has stayed the same for me. But it has improved a little. Our girls have always actually done pretty great on the drives.
Yeah.
But as far as I can now read something while we're driving, I used to get really queasy in the car. Lana used to throw up probably every other trip, and we haven't had any of that for a really long time. So in that sense, it's going better.
And the next question in this category is, do you prefer boondocking or campgrounds, and what is boondocking and how does it work? So for those who don't know, boondocking is essentially dry camping or camping when you don't have full hookups. That could mean you're in someone's driveway. It could be you're out by a river, out in the middle of nowhere. It all depends. We've also spent time at businesses. And as far as preference, we haven't done a lot of boondocking yet because we're on the East Coast. We've done some, but I would say also, starting out, it's been nice to have campgrounds and full hookups just for us to adjust, and the girls love having swimming pools and playgrounds. And so to start out, that was a really good way to go. We plan to boondock more in the future, especially as we head out west. We're set up with solar. And now that we can kind of monitor our water usage and black tank usage, that'll be helpful as we head out west with getting some experience having full hookup previously. And then next is, what has your favorite campground been so far? So for me and the girls, our favorite campground has been the Yogi Bear Jellystone Campground in Madison, Florida, where there was the full-time rally. We were there for 3 weeks, so we really got to enjoy the campground itself. It had great facilities, a swimming pool, a water park. There were jumpy houses for the girls, basketball courts, just a lot of places to go and play and enjoy the area. But my favorite part about all that was we actually got to meet a lot of new people and spend time with them. And I just love being around people, so that was great for me.
And my favorite is a toss-up between two. Our first one was actually, I think, my favorite because it was by a beach. I would always prefer a beach. Topsail Hill Preserve near Destin. So it was near the city of Destin. The beaches were beautiful. And it was a state park with full hookups too, which was amazing. So I think that's my favorite. There was another one in North Carolina that we had a brook behind us. It was 1,000 Trails. And we liked that one as well. It had hiking and bike rides around the area. So those were probably my favorite too. But I liked the Jellystone too. It was good.
So we're moving on to another category, mostly about family. And the first question is about how the girls have adjusted to life in the trailer. So we're going to jump over and let them answer those questions for you.
The first question for the girls is, how have the girls adjusted? Was it hard for them? Was it hard for you to move to RV life?
Yeah.
Why?
Because after we drive, it gets really bumpy. And the last time we drove, it got super bumpy. My sister's drawer fell out of our old closet, and the closet opened and all the Lego boxes fell out, and all the stuffed animals were falling out of my shelf.
Yeah, the girls have shelves that they keep some things on, and so they have to reorganize their beds after every drive. Right, but the last one was really, really bad. The other question for you to answer, Lana, is do you like meeting lots of new friends at the different places that we go?
Yeah. And at the last campground, our friend was going to this campground.
Yeah, we met a family at our last campground that ended up here for a few nights too. So we kind of tagged along with them. That wasn't even planned. So they've been playing a lot. But yeah, everywhere they go, they're making friends really quickly. And that wasn't the case before when we were on their road. Now they make fast friends. Same questions for you. What was hard for you to adjust? Was it hard for you to adjust to RV life?
Yes. When we moved in, I had to figure out where to put my things because we can't just leave things out. When we're done playing, we have to put everything away. So
yeah, because the
it's
table,
hard to adjust
the table is where they play, or the bedroom is your bed. So at night, everything.
Also, sometimes we play outside, but we can't really leave things outside.
Right, we want to bring things inside at night. Yep, exactly. And what about making friends? Have you liked meeting friends new places, or do you prefer playing with your sister all the time, or what?
I like playing with Lana a lot, but since I've been playing with her the most for a while, it's getting kind of bored just playing with the same person over and over. But making friends is a lot easier than it used to be.
Mm-hmm. And our girls do get along a lot better than they used to, because most of the time they pretty much have each other, and they've gotten along
a lot better.
More and more as we've traveled. Also in the family category, someone asked, do the girls ever take the truck and explore so you have quiet work time? So that's for you, meaning me. Do we get out and away so that you can have quiet time for work?
Yeah, and it does help a little bit. I do, for my other YouTube channel, I do some voiceover work for the videos, and having the trailer completely quiet is a plus. But I actually don't mind them being in the house while I'm doing work. I sometimes put on headphones and listen to music, but they are usually doing school while I do work, so it's not too loud and obnoxious. So for me, it really doesn't matter. I can work pretty much anywhere.
I'm actually the one that prefers to have alone time at home. And I will send Nick and the girls out, even if it's just to the pool or playground for a little while. One day they went into a city and explored, and I had this 5-hour chunk of time completely alone. It was the most amazing thing. Clearly I'm an introvert, and that's something that I need a lot of. So we do take time to get apart, and even get out with each girl individually. We did that today. We each had girls separately, so we're getting time apart.
And next is, how has the dog adjusted to life in the trailer?
The dog, I think, has done pretty well, although in the beginning she was peeing on Mariah's bed, and 2 months in, when she was alone in the house, when we were gone for a while, she would pee on the bed. So we ended up 2 months in getting a crate for her, which she had never had before. So we're kind of retraining her for this. It's been going much better. I feel bad for her that she can't have a lot of off-leash, just run-around time. The campgrounds are very strict that she needs to be on a leash at all times. But she's doing pretty good. She's a small dog. She doesn't need a lot of space to run around in. She seems to be doing pretty good.
Next up is, how do you keep your marriage alive and healthy?
I'm healthy.
I'm alive.
We're doing good. Along with that is date night. Do we get date nights? How do we get time together? It is a small space. We only have curtains. We make things work.
The only real date night we've had was when we were at Rachel's parents' house for a week, and we got a date night. Grandparents got to watch their grandchildren, and we got a couple hours out on the town to enjoy sushi, which is Rachel's favorite date night ever.
Every time.
But other than that, we haven't. We try to make time for ourselves in the evenings. The girls go to bed earlier.
We're pretty strict about bedtime. They're in bed and we have time to ourselves or to be together, and sometimes we do make that into a date night. We'll have glass of wine and cheese, or we'll sit by the fire, or together outside. We'll make it something special if we feel like we're needing a date night time, but otherwise we get along. I mean,
every night's a date night, right?
Yeah.
So that closes out the family category, and this moves us into food.
Yeah, we had a few questions about food. So what is our food budget? Again, we'll hit that in our budget video, but we're spending about how much?
We spend about $900 on food every month, split probably 60 to 65% for groceries and 35 to 40% on restaurants. We used to eat in restaurants a lot more, mainly fast food on travel days. Which we've shifted a little bit to making sandwiches that we eat in the car or just jumping into the trailer real quick in order to save money and also time on a travel day, which is nice.
Yep. Along with food, the question of what's our go-to meal. In the beginning, we had a lot of hamburgers and hot dogs. We probably our go-to meal, actually, we at least have hamburgers once a week. But we're grilling most of our meat outside and then making something for a side dish inside. But yeah, hamburgers are probably our go-to. And then also, how often do we eat out versus cooking at home? We probably only eat out about twice a week, and that's reflected in our budget. Let's see, next category is kind of renovations and that sort of thing. A question was asked, why did you choose the RV layout that you chose? We originally wanted an Airstream. That was our plan. We were going to go with an Airstream, but the amount of time that it would take to renovate that wasn't within our time frame, and the budget was going to be higher than we had. So we decided to stick with just any travel trailer and started looking. We went back and forth about a bunk house that actually has a room that closes, or the bunk setup that we have now.
The bunk houses were just too heavy for what we wanted and what our truck could pull. And they're also too long. We wanted something a little bit shorter so that we could fit into more national and state parks. So 30 feet was the limit that we were looking for, and the one that we found was perfectly that.
Next, we've actually been asked this question a lot, especially on our video where we renovated, was how have our countertops held up.
It's an English word, you can do it.
Held up.
So our countertops, if you do not know, we have 5 thin layers of concrete on top of them with a concrete sealer. So it looks like concrete countertops, but it only adds about 10 pounds of weight total. And it's actually held up really well. We weren't sure how it was going to hold up because the travel trailer does move, it does twist and bend, but we don't have any wear and tear from that. We have put a little bit of scratches on the top of it, based off of how we've been cutting food and preparing food
but
on
it's
top.
held up really, really well.
And there is one tiny little place where...
Yeah, I had a cotton ball with some essential oil on it that I meant to put up in a corner to help the house smell better, but I left it on the countertop overnight and it ate away the sealant. But that's something we can just seal
That's
up.
an easy fix that we'll probably do within the next couple days. And then one other question is the bike rack that we have on the back of the truck. So if you don't know about that one, we had the bikes on the back of the travel trailer when we set out, and it started ripping off the back bumper. So I had to build a custom rack system that went on the back of the truck because we have a retractable bed cover. And so far it's been holding up really well. The whole total construction of it was, the rack itself was $100, and then the individual bike racks on top of that. But it's been doing pretty well. We've gotten the bikes on and off at least a couple dozen times. We leave the bikes on sometimes even when we go into cities, and it's nice and secure. We haven't had any issues with anyone trying to steal the bikes or anything like that. Keep our fingers crossed that it stays the same.
Although they are locked in there.
So if you're interested to see what that setup is, we'll link that in the description below, and hopefully it might help you guys in trying to figure out how to keep your bikes with you while on the road.
So our last category are the big questions. We were asked if we knew everything we know now, would we still RV full time?
I would say yes. We were pretty prepared.
Very prepared.
We took about a year doing research before we got into this, and we watched 1,000 videos.
So many.
Hopefully this video will help somebody else make their decisions and figure out what they're going to do. But we did our research, we did our homework, and we haven't really found anything that shocked us and would have changed our minds.
Would have been a deal breaker for us. No.
Second to last question, we're almost done. The question is, what is one thing that you thought would be a big deal, but actually isn't?
Well, the thing that I thought was going to be a big deal is still a big deal to me, and that's the black tank. Keeping it flushed out and cleaned out and not smelling up the house was really important to me.
She is obsessed.
And it still needs to be clean and taken care of all the time. So
she thought it was a big deal, and it still is a big deal every day. And the opposite of that question is, what did you think wasn't going to be a big deal and is? For me, that is hitching and unhitching the travel trailer. We've almost dropped the trailer twice. I need to be a little bit more careful with that.
We've solved that.
But it's just stressful when you know you're dealing with your house and you're connecting it to your car and it's everything that you own in it. And yeah, if someone could do it for me every single time, that would be awesome. Hopefully maybe my girls can just be switched over to 17-year-old boys and they can help out. But no, it's usually just me.
I've been helping a little.
You have.
Really.
You have.
Don't leave me out. But no, I'm not able to help as much as you would like, that's for sure.
And the last question, I'll let you read it.
How has this changed your perspective of life as a journey rather than destination? So journey versus destination.
For me, it really hasn't. We always took vacations when we were kids, and most of those were road trips, and the whole vacation was the entire experience for us. It was being in the car, being together, playing games in the car, and doing that. And that was just as fun and memorable for us as the places that we were going. So for me, it's the same as what it's always been.
And for me in life and on the road, I'm a goal-oriented person. I like the destination. I like the end result and to check it off and feel like I've accomplished something. So I would say the actual journey, the day-to-day journey of traveling, I still don't enjoy that because it's stressful for me. But in life, I am this whole trip,
the journey that we are
on. I'm enjoying that more. That's part of why we decided to do this in the first place, is to enjoy life right now in the moment and not trying to think all the time about where we're going to be in 5 years and 10 years. We want to enjoy life now and make the most of it now. So as far as that goes, that perspective is starting to change, which is the whole point in doing what we're doing.
So that does it for our questions.
That's all of them. I feel like we left some out. Maybe we did, and if we didn't answer your question, hopefully we can get to it in the next one.
Yeah, if you have more questions for us, please leave them in the comments below, but we're planning on doing a Q&A video probably every quarter, so we will have more of these. If you enjoyed it, I hope you give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and again, if you have any questions that you want us to answer right now, leave them in the comments and we will get back to you as quickly as we can.
Thanks for watching, and hopefully this was helpful for some of you.
Bye guys.
See ya.